All right. I'm super excited to have you all here. I'm going to share my screen and you should now see the masterclass logo. Is that cool? That's what you're looking at, right? Doesn't show three things. It shows one thing. Perfect. Excellent. Yep. Cool. So I will ask you to play a little bit tonight and I'll do my best to keep on top of it. But type in the chat where you are from, if you can, and what inspired you or called you to come tonight? Like what made you think, oh, I'm going to check that out. So I'd love to hear and see what brought you here and where you're from. Get a bit of a sense of everybody tonight as we wait for any final people to filter in. I'll make sure I don't have any. Oh, I've got one more in the waiting room, so I admit.
Probably okay that I can't find the chat because you know exactly where I am.
That's Sylvan Lake. So usually at the bottom of your screen, there's little people that says participants, and there's a little talkie window that says chat, and then there's stuff like that. And if you click the chat, it'll show up a little dialog box. So we got Medicine Hat, which is awesome, and Melita, Manitoba. Oh, that's cool. A zombie with 2 kids under 2, so I need to sleep again. Oh my gosh, yeah, that's rough. Ladner, BC. Oh, cool. Kelowna, Edmonton. Excellent. Dan, yeah. Bentley. Right on. Good to see you, Michelle. That's cool. Sundry.
I never got to check. I have a Zoom class. Oh, it's okay. I'll catch up to you.
Nice little group. And what, Sarita wanted to get back on track. That's life. That's excellent. Need to balance hormones, eating properly, feeling sluggish. Yeah, for sure. What else? Want to have more energy. Sleep again. Yeah, sleep is magic. And not when you're not, right? Another Sylvan Laker, excited to learn more from Coach Scotty. Oh, that's fun. Thank you. And always looking for health tips. Well, I got some of those coming. So that is awesome. Cool. Those are all good. All right. I don't see any other waiting to come in notifications. So I'm going to press forward. All right. Well, welcome. I'm super excited to have you guys here tonight. So when it comes to living a healthy, fit, happy life, what are your biggest challenges? So I'll fire off a few questions and you can just type me. We got a couple of people. That's fun. Huxley, Alberta. That's great. So this, because the struggle's real, like life is a challenge sometimes. So how many people, I don't know what to eat anymore. Like there's so many fads and like, I don't even know what to eat anymore. Just type me if that's you, or wave your hands and smile. I don't see everybody, but type me if you would. How about I'm living on caffeine? Does anyone? Just type me if you're living on caffeine. That's like your go-to to survive the day. Yeah, me. Okay. Yeah, making easily healthy food quickly. Good. How about people who's out there that doesn't sleep well anymore? Is there anybody that's struggling with not sleeping enough, not sleeping well? Like you finally do get some time to sleep and it's just not quality sleep? Say me if that's you. Yeah, me. No sleep here. Yeah, got it. Cool. I mean, not cool, but who's like, I've got no energy. I'm out of energy all the time. Anybody else? You can also unmute and say me. That works too. But it's fun to see the chat go crazy. I got a moi. Very good. Sleep like the dead. Nicely done. That's not a bad thing. Anybody out there that's overweight by your own standards? Maybe not society, but by your own personal, whatever that is for you, right? Because who hates it when you go, oh, I'm overweight, and then somebody who's looks at you goes, you're fine. Like, don't judge me. This is my standards, right? Yeah. Could lose a few. Yeah, awesome. How about filled with some aches and pains? Anybody else out there has got some aches and pains going on? A little bit. Yeah. I see some nodding heads. Cool. How about I'm too busy? Who's just like too busy to take care of their health? Too busy to eat well, too busy to meal prep, too busy to, right? Yeah. Okay. So you are in the right place if that was you. Now, coming right up, we're going to talk about a couple things. The goals for tonight is to learn some key principles of the Warrior Code training method on how to reset your digestion, metabolism, sleep and energy, accelerate your fat loss and physical improvements, and thrive and enjoy life. Does that sound good? Yes? Okay, perfect.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, wait a minute. Who are you? So I am Scott McDermott. For those of you that don't know me, people call me Coach Scotty. And I had a desk job in architecture and I was 29 years old, but I felt like an old man. And I'll tell you, I wouldn't take a before photo until I dropped 20 pounds first. So I dropped 20 pounds and then took my before photo. At the time, I was taking Claritin. I had allergies to dust, pollen, fruit, apples, pears, cherries, nectarines. I was taking Gravol because I had unexplained dizziness all the time. Was taking aspirin because I had bad circulation. I was trying to get that to improve. I was taking caffeine because I was always tired. And I'm not talking about coffee. I don't like coffee. I was taking caffeine pills, right? To get through deadlines at work. Not cool. And there was no, this is back in the day, in the 90s, they didn't have energy drinks, right? I was taking Ribaxicil because I broke my back in high school and my back just hurt all the time. And I had tinnitus, unexplained ringing in my ears. And when I would lay in bed at night and my wife would try to talk to me, the ringing was louder than her voice. And I just had to tell her not to talk to me at night when we were in bed together. How many people think that's the problem? How many long married husbands are like, no problem. Oh, that's a joke. All right. I have a boom boom button, so I can do that. All right. But not cool. And then I don't know if you've experienced this in the medical system, where it's like you're suffering from unknown problems. And then you have to wait months for a medical specialist. And it's like they contact you, come in, we have your results. Oh, thank goodness. And you go in, they're like, yeah, tests are normal. You're good.
Wow.
Yeah, thanks for that. Great. That's not awesome. Now, I like to say that a doctor accidentally saved my life. How many of you have ever had, you go to the doctor's appointment and they're just waiting with the prescription pad. Like, hey, how's it going? And they're just waiting with the prescription pad, right? So this doctor prescribed what I call the little blue pill. And I found out later that they were normally given to paranoid schizophrenics with delusional disorders when they can't sleep at night. And they're very much used in prisons to calm the population. And I was like, okay, I am not taking this. I'm done. I'm not doing this. So I made another appointment with my doctor and I went back to see him and I wrote him a 2-page letter with all of my symptoms and saying, this is nuts. This has been going on for a year and we've got nothing. And he met me and he's like, was there some sort of comment on the medical system? I was like, well, not necessarily, but you see like 50, 60, 70 people a day, but I feel like I get 20 seconds of your time and we just get another prescription and off I go, but nothing's getting solved. And I can't live like this. It's just driving me crazy. And so he's like, all right, listen, let's do a physical. So he kind of checked me out and did some things, started asking questions. And he says, like, well, kid, I got your answer. You need to eat right and exercise. You need to take care of yourself. You need to get rid of some stress. You need to drink some water. You need to stop eating junk food all the time. And I thought, oh my God, I can do that. So I wandered around town right after the appointment. I didn't go back to work and I went and I bought a gym membership and I bought a 3-year membership because I was serious and I made a change. I got a video cassette, a VHS video cassette of a documentary called Body for Life or Body of Work Challenge. And I watched it and I bawled and I knew my life would never be the same again. It was the story of 7 people who underwent a 12-week transformation challenge. And it changed my life. I went upstairs and started throwing out all the junk food. I went shopping. I got healthy food. I started working with a trainer. And 5 months later, I was in the best shape of my life. I completely transformed. I went from chubby, pudgy guy to fit and strong and healthy. And everything was different. It completely transformed my life. And my allergies, gone. I started working with a colostrum medicine, like an all natural, they're gone. Dizziness, gone. Poor circulation, no problem. Feeling tired, I have tons of energy. I'm 54 years old. I've been working hard all day. I don't drink coffee. This is me on normal energy. My sore back, no problem. My tinnitus, gone, right? It was awesome. So that's pretty cool. Well, then what? Well, I quit my career in architecture. I mean, obviously, right? Quit. 2 weeks before I was a junior partner in the firm, I'm out of here. I'm going to go work in a gym. And I worked as a gym part-time. Worked as a trainer at a gym part-time, 2 different gyms. I eventually became kind of the front desk manager. I learned how to clean toilets and fix treadmills and everything. Then I opened my own 15,000 square foot gym in Sylvan Lake. And I wrote a book called If Your Body Were a Car, You Wouldn't Treat It This Way. Pretty cool. Still like that book. And then I got into triathlon. So let me ask you, do you guys think this guy, Mr. Ribaxicil and caffeine and tinnitus and fat, do you think he could, with all of the junk, weak and back pain and allergies and sick and anxious, do you think he could do this, which is an Ironman triathlon? swim 3.8 kilometers, bike 180 kilometers, and run a full marathon in 12 hours. Who thinks the guy on the left could do that? Right? No chance. No chance. So my life was completely different. I had found yet a new passion. Then I discovered Ultraman, which is a 10K swim, 420K bike, and an 84.5K double marathon. Wait, what? I know, right? It's exciting. So I went to Ultraman Canada 2011. I was 6th overall. I was 20 minutes from second place. Then in 2013, I went to the World Championships and I was 21st. It was awesome. And I went back in 2015 because I wanted to be top 5. And I went from super fit and I was have a great day and I was 10th in the world. And I just passed this awesome guy from Australia and I was 9th and I was chasing another guy in the rain and I cartwheeled down the highway at 70 kilometers an hour until I stopped. And everything changed. I almost died. I was unconscious for a bit. I shattered my shoulder. I broke my ribs. I broke my arm in half. I busted my skull open. I had whiplash. I busted up my knee. I tore my MCL. I scraped the side of my face off. It was a thing. And I suffered the worst brain injury you can get. I had metal parts put in and later taken out. I was in hyperbaric oxygen therapy 5 days a week for 3 months to repair my brain. I had neural therapy to learn how to do things like writing and walking and running without stumbling. And I nearly lost my business multiple times. And at the time, my wife and I were living in a rental duplex because we had sold our house to build a new one, our dream home. And we had a 3.5-year-old. It was a challenge. And I got to ask, is there anybody out there as an emotional eater? You have a really bad day and you're going straight to, like, type in the thing. If you're an emotional eater, like, what's your thing? Is it sugar or salty? Are you talking nachos or ice cream? You're having a crap day and you're just feeling like you need a food hug. Les says it's sugars. Stress eat chips. Sweets for Tracy. Both for Michelle. Yeah. Sugar cookies for Dan. Chocolate almonds. Everything. Yeah. Yeah. That's a challenge, isn't it? And I was big time for that. That was a big deal for me. Stress eating and emotional eating. But hey, I had these really good excuses. I mean, they were legitimate excuses, right? There's still excuses, coach. If you cling to your excuses, you get to keep them. So, all that emotional eating had a cost. I turned back into the Pillsbury Doughboy, Mr. Fitness guy. But all the surgeries and all that kind of stuff, it was really honestly bumming me out. And it was a struggle. And I was still training, still trying to get through everything. And just when I was making some headway, they discovered all the problems with my knee that had been missed during the accident because they weren't high enough priority. So then I had to have knee surgery. It was a bit of a bummer. 5 weeks before my comeback Ironman, where I had to be under 14 hours in order to qualify to apply to go back to the Ultraman World Championships, which was my goal. And I finished that race and I had 10 whole minutes and 15 seconds to spare. It is the fattest I've ever been at a race. And it was so hard to race at 230 pounds. Let me tell you, it was a drag and my knee hurt the whole time. It was a thing. I was 5 weeks off of knee surgery. But when I got home, all my surgeries were done. And I was like, all right, that's enough of that. I'm going to follow what I know. And 3 months later, I was back in good shape again. And in 2018, I went back to the World Championships. We finished that event. We crossed that finish line and we got it all on film. And it's free on YouTube. It's an award-winning documentary called Living the Warrior Code. It's 82 minutes long. It's awesome. And last summer, I did another Ironman in Penticton. And I am loving life. All righty then. So that's me. Good? Okay, everybody take a deep breath. Do you feel like you've been on a journey too? Just with that? Yeah. All right. So where do we go with all of this? How do you learn from what I've gone through? So the first thing you need to do wherever you're at is you need to reset some things. That's the biggest piece. You need to just reset your metabolism, your nutrition, everything. We need to get you back to sleeping well, back to having energy, back to digesting food, back to eating all the good things. So that's step one. So your goal needs to be to reduce inflammation, increase energy, improve sleep, have better skin, hair, nails, take some actual self-care, and let's say less backfiring. Does anybody backfire? I kind of used to backfire. Yeah, I know, right? So, all right, but how do we do that, coach? Like, it's confusing as hell. Has anybody noticed that nutrition is confusing out there? Have you seen this? Yeah. Like, there's a lot going on. Vegan, vegetables, organic, vegetarian, high carb, low carb, gluten-free, grains, dairy-free, no red meat, all red meat, Atkins. It's all over the map. Most of it is somebody selling a book, right? Honestly. And so it's like, well, which of those things work? Well, they'll all work to a degree for a period of time, but the big question is, do you want to live that way the rest of your life? And I would say with a lot of these, the answer would be an enthusiastic no, right? They'll work, but I ain't doing it for more than a month, okay? So whatever you choose to do to nutritiously feed yourself, I want you to ask yourself a question. I have a scenario for you. What if Coach Scotty suddenly lost his mind and he was going to give you a brand new McLaren MP4 12C? That is a $250,000 US supercar. I'm going to give it to you. Okay. But here's the rules. Okay. I'm going to give you this brand new $250,000 supercar, but the rule is this: you must immediately drive it until it is out of gas. And then you have to fill it with the following mix: water, diesel, Gatorade, egg whites, Coca-Cola, and dirty mud puddle water. You have to put that in the fuel tank. Okay. Yeah. Then you must let the air almost out of all the tires, except one front tire must be completely empty. So you have to run all the tires on like 15 pounds and the front tire has to be empty. And then you have to drain the coolant and the oil out of the engine. And then you must drive it on the highway in first gear for 2 hours at 120 kilometers an hour. Who's in? Who would do that to a $250,000 supercar? Anybody? Would anyone do that?
Good point.
You would never do that, would you? Why not? Why? Even with your Honda Civic, why wouldn't you put egg whites and diesel fuel in your Honda Civic? Why not? Cheaper. Gatorade's like, that's cheap. Mud puddle water, it's free. Why wouldn't you put that in your Honda Civic or your whatever? Why not? Who could tell me? You can unmute, comment.
Won't make it go.
It won't make it go. What would it do?
Make it stop.
It would destroy it, wouldn't it? It would destroy it. And yet, for so many people, this is what we're doing, isn't it? Like, it's exactly what a lot of people are doing. So let me ask you, does good nutrition even matter? Like, does it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Because look at the statistics. These are Canadian statistics. In 1 year, we spent $5.2 billion at Timmy's, $3.3 billion at McDonald's, 1.3. I don't know if you could picture $1 billion. If I give you 1 billion seconds, do you know how long 1 billion seconds is? 32.7 years. I was in high school 1 billion seconds ago. So if we're spending $5 billion on Timmy's, well, I thought you said health food mattered. It doesn't seem to if we look at averages, does it? Now, maybe not you guys. You're above the curve, but as an average. Let's play a game, okay? Let's play a game. Let's play cool or not cool. You've been invited to go to a party by some people you want to impress. You got to bring food to the party. They've asked you to bring food. So are the people in gen population, are they excited that you brought salad with chicken or burgers and donuts and fries and Coke? Which one's socially hooray? right?
Burgers.
Burgers and donuts.
Right?
Donuts.
What about a lean meat salad, a little bit of pita, and or Starbucks? Like you went crazy on Starbucks. Who's the hero? The
Starbucks.
The Starbucks. We know it's Starbucks, doesn't it? Right? Okay. Last party. You bring sushi grade salmon and you bring all kinds of good cheeses and then somebody else brings pizza and wings and meatball. Who's the hero?
Pizza.
Why?
I like the sushi
nutrition
people.
mattered. Come on. Right? And it has a cost. When I was a kid, cancer was unheard of, largely. Was largely unheard of. Like, I remember hearing about Terry Fox getting cancer in early 80s, and he was like this guy from Vancouver, and he got, what? Cancer? What's cancer? I'd never heard of it. It's now 1 in 2 in Alberta, Canada. 1 in 2. And I get it, we've got better screening, but still, it's nuts. And you look at our food supply and what's changed, and even just sugar consumption in the last 100 years, 200 years has gone off the charts. And I'm not saying that sugar is the devil. I'm saying that we eat an inappropriate amount of it. Does that make sense? We have too much of it. Okay. And junk food takes a toll. Headaches, depression, dental distress, acne, heart disease or stroke, shortness of breath, high cholesterol, weight gain, high blood pressure, blood sugar spikes leading to insulin problems, extra calories, insulin resistance leading to diabetes, bloating, and puffiness. It's a big, bad deal. I'm talking about healthy living. We need to get back to healthy living. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Coach, well, how do we freaking do that? Right? That's the challenge, isn't it? Well, honestly, it's pretty simple in many senses. The first thing is remove foods that cause problems and add foods that are amazing and delicious. I have a saying in my groups, it's only eat food that loves you back, right? Like there's a lot of things I love, but they don't love me back. So I only eat food that loves me back, okay? Remove chemicals and toxins that cause problems and add healthy options that work instead of. I have a homemade salad dressing that has replaced the chemical snot storm that is in the store, right? I can make homemade ketchup, homemade barbecue sauce. There are so many ways we can make our own stuff. It's not hard. Homemade mayonnaise is so simple. I have recipes in my books. It's so easy, right? And remove guilt and shame and add a healthy perspective of support. Like we need support in this journey. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All for support. Yeah, totally. We also need to add some intelligent movement. Intelligent movement. So wherever you are, be where you are. It means if you've never run, you don't go train for a marathon for tomorrow. Like if you've never lifted a weight, you don't join the CrossFit Games. Like be where you are, right? It's not about impressing anybody, but movement does matter. Okay, Coach, what do I eat? Like, how does this whole thing work? Okay, so I'm going to teach you a little bit. Here's what, like, who wants to know a definition of calories? That'd be kind of interesting, right? We talk about it. So they're little creatures that live in your closet and they sew your clothes tighter every night. That's not true. Okay. Calories are actually the amount of energy given by food, and it's the amount required to heat 1 liter of water 1 degree at sea level. That's what it is. But basically, if you burn your food and it gives off energy, that's what calories do. But let's talk about a few main things. So the number 1 food we want to learn about is protein. Protein is like the body's replacement parts. Protein can be long, slow burning energy, but that's not quite its mandate. It's mostly new tissue. Now, proteins are things like beef, poultry, fish, eggs, dairy products like yogurt, cottage cheese, milk, legumes and beans, whey powder and other protein powders. It is also soy, quinoa, and tofu. Okay, I'm not a fan of soy personally, but that is a protein. Okay. Then we have everybody's favorite, which is carbohydrates. And carbohydrates are like the body's gasoline. It is quick energy, which is why I'm not a fan of the keto diet. Don't get me started on that. Carbohydrates are brain food. Your brain runs on glycogen, which is glucose, which is blood sugar, right? You need carbohydrates to think well. Now, can your brain live without them? Yes. Can it adapt? Sure. It can get by without. It'll find shortcuts and pathways to survive. I'm not talking about surviving. I'm talking about thriving, right? Carbohydrates also give you all your vitamins and minerals. There's a few exceptions, but mostly they come from fruits and veggies. They also give you the fiber, because who likes pooping? Pooping is cool, right?
Pooping's good.
Pooping's good. All right. I put things into two categories: overused carbs and underused carbs. I don't think any food is bad. I think some things are overused and some things are underused. So overused is grains and cereals, including corn. Corn is not a vegetable. What? I know, I just blew somebody's mind somewhere. Okay. Rice is overused. Pasta is overused. Because when you go to the restaurant and you get a serving of pasta, how much pasta do they give you? Like, it could feed a small African village, right? They give you 1,200 calories of pasta. The other thing that's overused, we've talked about sugar. Now, underused carbohydrates, well, mom, fruits and veggies. Fruits and veggies, fruits and veggies, fruits and veggies, all day long, fruits and veggies, right? And why do you think human beings love carbohydrates? Type in the chat, why do you think we love carbs? I'm having a sip of tea. Why do you think, and you could say it out loud too if you want to type.
Comfort food.
Comfort food. Okay, why is it comfortable? It's a good answer, but why is it comfortable?
Tastes good.
Yeah. Quick energy, help us hunt, energy and easy, instant energy hit, fills me up, tastes good. Yeah. I'm going to go back 10,000 years to our original species design when we didn't have refrigerators and Sobeys and Safeway and houses. We were designed to love carbohydrates because in the fall, in any country, when all of the fruits and vegetables were ripe, we were designed to eat as much of that as you can and get as fat as you can in the fall, because when winter comes and all of that stuff is gone, other than the things you can bury, like you could bury tubers and roots things for a little bit longer, but basically come the dead of winter, you're eating meat, fat, and that's it. And the fattest people survived because they lived through winter. But that's not appropriate anymore. We've outthought that, but we still have a survival mechanism that has us wanting carbohydrates almost as an instinct. And we need to outthink that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Is that kind of like, whoa, for anybody?
Yeah.
I know. Okay, cool. Thank you. I appreciate the questions. So then there's fat. Now, is there anybody that lived through the no fat epidemic
Oh yeah.
of the 80s?
Yes.
Where they were telling us all that fat was the end of the world and we all need to stop eating fat because fat was the enemy. And what did they put in our food instead of fat?
Sugar.
Sugar,
Yeah.
right? They pulled out the fat, put in sugar. And then what happened? The obesity epidemic went bananas. Yeah, thanks for that. All right, so fat is slow burn fuel. It is reserve fuel. It is insulation for body heat. It's essential for cell health, and some vitamins won't process without fat. It's lubrication for smooth running parts. Here's another thing. Did you know that your brain is 78% cholesterol? Your brain is made of fat. So if somebody calls you a fathead, you're like, hey, thanks. Right? Now, little soapboxy here, little conspiracy theory. Okay. I'm curious. Follow me along. Your brain is 78% cholesterol. Your body repairs and replaces tissue all the time. If you have high cholesterol, they give you a statin drug that prevents your body from using, repairing, working with, or developing or processing cholesterol. But your brain's made out of cholesterol. How many think that's a bad idea?
Yeah.
A big thing. And your liver makes cholesterol, and your body uses cholesterol in exercise. So if you want to lower your cholesterol, you need to exercise, right? Original design works. Okay, cool. Excellent. Love it. Okay, so fat comes in a couple different categories. One is saturated. And I like to think of saturated as complete. That is a complete fat. So shortening, lard, butter, coconut oil, animal fats like egg yolks, cashews, and stuff like that. And it is unfairly vilified as bad for you. That science has been shown to be false. It's not true. It was bad science. Okay. Then there's unsaturated fat, which is incomplete fats, which we divide into mono and polyunsaturated. So monounsaturated fats are the good ones: olive oil, avocado, nuts, and seeds. And then polyunsaturated fats, PUFAs, are the bad news: safflower, walnut, corn, soybean, vegetable oils. And they've been promoted as good for you. Canola oil is good for you. No, it isn't.
Mhm.
It is not good for you at all. There's way too much of it. Way too much of it. Our baked goods are loaded with polyunsaturated fatty acids. They are worse for you almost, well, I will say, than sugar. And heat changes things. So if you heat up olive oil, it changes how it performs. It can be not as good. But the big thing about all this stuff, again, back to fruits and veggies, num, 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 for all the reasons, right? They are so full of amazing nutrition beyond calories. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Who feels good? We've learned a little bit about proteins, fats, and carbs and base nutrition. Has that been helpful?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. All right. Now, no, he says he doesn't want a treat. He says I can have two. Do not reward yourself with food. You're not a dog. Okay. How many people reward themselves with food? Come on now. You see my hand is still up.
Yeah.
Still up. My hand is still up. I reward myself. Right. All right. I want to share a client example. I'm super proud of these, so I sprinkled a few in. Stephen was at war with the world. He was a very bitter, angry man. He was angry, frustrated, miserable, and just not having a good time. Okay. I'm just going to admit somebody else in the waiting room. He was divorced and suddenly a single parent. He was a smoker, recovering alcoholic, stagnant at work. He was being taken to court on several fronts, stressed, not sleeping. He was on high blood pressure medication, completely out of shape, and at the end of his rope. Stephen came to me and said, "Do you think I can help you?" I was like, "Yeah, buddy." And so step one was the 21-day reset. This is what we're talking about. Reset your foods, reset your metabolism. Now, then he jumped in and he did the 6-week accelerate. What that meant was he started to drop weight. And then we started to layer on exercise and movement. And he dropped 75 pounds in 6 months. And more than that, he ended his smoking. He ended caffeine. He started cycling. He talked to me about getting a bicycle because he had a BMX from forever ago, but I helped him get a road bike and a fat bike. He repaired communications with his family and now gets along brilliantly with his ex-wife. He got promoted at work twice. In fact, he was going to be on the call tonight, but because he's now a manager, he got called into work tonight. I don't know if that's good or bad. I'm still going with good. Okay. He has energy to spare and he's still at it 2 years later. One of the things I love about Stephen is completely transformed person that he is. Not only as a human being, as a father, everything. He's become a really good friend of mine. And we went to Highwood Pass last year and we cycled 120 kilometers in the mountains. And I got to tell you, a year earlier, there's no way that man could have done that. Period. We're going again this year and he is unstoppable. It is so exciting. Worlds have opened to him that did not exist before. And like a lot of you, when he started, he was so tired. Anyone so tired? Anyone?
Yeah.
Anyone? Bueller, so tired? Yep. So what do we do as a culture when we're tired? What's the solution? Type
Coffee.
it. What is that?
Nothing.
Nothing? No, what do we do as a culture?
Coffee.
Take a nap.
Coffee,
Oh, yeah.
right? Drinking coffee doesn't count as breakfast. Want to bet? We got the knife and fork if you can't see it. Coffee's not helping. Get the jumper cables. Drink coffee. Do stupid things faster with more energy. Coffee, because murder is wrong. If you drink 42 cups of coffee, the caffeine overdose will kill you. So 41 is the limit. Right? What even motivates you non-coffee drinkers to get out of bed? Some sort of pulley system, a cabin fire, a hull breach? Please help me understand. Right? Good morning. I'm here to perpetuate your socially acceptable chemical dependency. Sometimes I think you're the only one who understands me. You two have a weird relationship. Let's not. talking, right? When you've only had 2 hours sleep and you think coffee will help, right? You got to get them chores done. When you try to caffeinate yourself, but you just end up increasing your heart rate while remaining exhausted. Can anybody relate to those? Right?
Oh,
We
yeah.
celebrate coffee as a culture. So let me ask you a couple questions. Coffee and energy drinks, are they bad? What do you think? Are they bad?
Depends on the amount.
Yeah, it depends on how much you take.
Yeah, Ken. Yeah, depends. Well, let me ask you this. Do they give you energy?
No,
Yeah.
Someone said yes.
Temporary.
No. Temporary energy, fake energy. Let me teach you something. Caffeine is a stimulant. It does not give you energy. It forces your body to release energy in the form of norepinephrine, which is adrenaline. It puts you in a state of fight or flight, like there's something evil chasing you. That has the feeling of energy, but it's not giving you any. It's forcing your body to release it. And that's a big distinction, especially if you drink coffee every day, you are actually exhausted and forcing something. Because fight or flight's amazing, but we're not supposed to live there. Does that make sense? Yeah. Here's another interesting thing. In energy drinks, not coffee, but in energy drinks, we look at what's in them. Now, caffeine, for one. Energy drinks will have 3 to 7 cups of coffee in one energy drink.
Oh,
Right? Bam. Now, how many people, how many do you know, how many of you know somebody out there that's like, energy drinks don't even do anything for me. I can like have one, just go right to bed. Who knows that
oh
person?
yeah.
That
I know
should
that
scare the
person.
crap out of them. Because if you, that's like getting smashed in the face and not noticing. Like if you gave me an energy drink, I would be clawing around on the ceiling counting holes in the tile, right? I would be like, you wouldn't even be able to see me because I would literally be vibrating out of focus, right? That's what an energy drink should do. But I know people that doesn't even bother them because their endocrine system is so fried, it's so fatigued, they don't even care anymore. Now, another thing that's interesting that's in energy drinks is taurine. Now, taurine's it's an amino acid. It's used medically for people who have epileptic facial tics. So you think, well, why would it be in energy drinks? And it's tested in humans to 400 milligrams, but energy drinks start at 1,000. Some have 2,000 milligrams. Well, why would they put that in a Red Bull? Well, because if you slam a Red Bull and have 7 cups of coffee in about 30 seconds, you would start to get a facial tic. And that doesn't look good on a Red Bull commercial. So they put taurine in it to just calm your face down. So you look all sexy on the Red Bull commercial because it gives you wings. Right? There's also B vitamins, which is an energy vitamin. Okay. And then usually lots of tons of sugar. What else does coffee give us? What does caffeine give us? Well, it gives us insomnia. Can't sleep. Gives us acidity, an upset stomach, makes us super stressed and manufactures and creates anxiety. That's exciting. If you quit or miss a day, gives you withdrawals, gives you kidney stones. Thanks for that. Anybody pass a kidney stone? No fun involved, right? It also makes you dehydrated by making you urge to pee more often. And people drink coffee and then they're dehydrated so that they have another coffee. They're not going for a glass of water, right? As Tracy drinks some water. I love it. I know how some too, right? Now, the side effects of caffeine, and I've stated some of them, but they're all over the place. It's really hard on your central nervous system, your brain, muscular, causes twitches. You can have flashes in front of your eyes, causes ringing in your ears, sensitive in your skin, heartbeat issues, gastro problems, all kinds of challenges. Now I'm going to talk about a superstar who's here. Rob's life was sore knees, caffeine, and nicotine. 4 knee surgeries had him watching life go by as a spectator. His back was sore all the time. He was drinking 3 to 4 extra large coffees a day just to keep going and chewing nicotine mints all day. All day. Had terrible sleep, stress, anxiety, and he was watching his ultra fit wife train for the most incredible races while he could only dream and watch. Now, I happened to coach his wife, which is pretty awesome. And so he came to me and said, "Hey, do you think you could help me?" And I was like, "Yeah, what are you thinking?" He's like, I want to get in shape so I can run again. I was like, okay, well, step one, reset. We need to reset your metabolism. We need to clean you up. Then step two, do the 6-week accelerate program. Awesome. So Rob did that and he dropped 42 pounds. And his knees feel the best they have in 20 years. And he ran the final 20 kilometers with his wife as she placed second overall at the 162 kilometer Iron Horse Ultra Marathon. I'm not talking second female. She won that. She was chasing the lead boy. Crushed it. And he got to run the final 20K with her. And he's wearing clothing sizes he hasn't seen since high school. And this year, he's working with me to train for a 50K, a 100K ultra marathon, and an Ironman 70.3. And he's off all of his caffeine and nicotine. The guy that couldn't hardly do anything got to pace his wife to her final big victory. How cool is that? Right? Now he's here. I don't know, Rob, if you want to say anything or share anything or add anything, you're welcome to. Funny, I'm you.
Yeah, it's been pretty awesome. I haven't had this much energy since, I don't even know, in my early 20s, I think. And yeah, it's pretty awesome. So I feel great. I had stomach issues before. I had back pain, I had knee pain, I had every kind of pain all over all the time. And I went to specialists and went for my stomach, and I'm pretty sure it's because I drank 3-4 pots of coffee a day and ate like crap. So yeah, it's been pretty awesome. So I'm pretty excited for this year and what it's all gonna look like. So
That's awesome. Thanks, Rob. I appreciate you chiming in. Super awesome. Because Rob touched on it. We want some energy, don't we? Who wants energy? Who wants some energy, right? Okay. So just like the $250,000 McLaren sports car, we need to put good fuel in it and take care of it, right? And then our body will give us energy. And I know this part is really boring, but it's about good food, eat your greens, do some exercise, drink some water, get some sleep. That's it. It is not rocket science. I know it's hard in a busy life, but that's the magic. It honestly is. Because we get happiness chemicals naturally. Dopamine, oxytocin, endorphin, serotonin, they all come from good food and exercise and hugs, right? I'm listening to and reading a really great book right now called Spark, and it's fascinating. It's the revolutionary new science of exercise in the brain. And he talks on and on and on in this book about how exercise, including and especially cardio, helps your brain heal. It's, in his words, infinitely superior than medication for depression, anxiety, ADHD, and Alzheimer's. Exercise. And it's free. And there's no negative side effect other than you feel more awesome. It's brilliant stuff. You know what I find fascinating? Let me ask you this question. When do you think the legitimate research showing that exercise positively affects the mind when it comes to anxiety, depression, healing, thinking, being smarter? When do you think that research, what is that? Are we talking 50s, 60s, 70s? When do we think it's 80s? When do you think in that research is? Type in the chat when you think the research was done. And as you're doing that, somebody asked thoughts on decaf coffee. You know, decaf coffee still has some caffeine, and a lot of times the process to decaffeinate it is very chemical based, which isn't spectacular. You know, if you like the taste of coffee, I drink hot protein powder with tea, herbal tea, and it's absolutely, it's a caramel macchiato chocolate. It is phenomenal. So that's an option. All right, people are saying 60s, 70s, 50s, recently, and then I think, unfortunately, recently too. Yeah, 2005. 2005, we scientifically figured out that exercise is good for your brain and helps. Personal trainers have been yakking about it. Like Jack LaLanne was saying it in the 60s, and everybody's like, you're crazy, right? Fascinating. All right, good. You guys are awesome. So I want another story here. So Bonnie, and I think she was going to be here tonight. I don't know if she made it. She was tired and sore and frustrated. Now, I've known Bonnie a long time, and she's told me, I can tell you, she's in her 70s, okay? And she's an amazing humanitarian, but struggling to do all the things she loved in retirement. This is not fair. She would have to excuse herself during meetings because the smallest amounts of food led to painful heartburn, gas, and indigestion. And they would just she couldn't eat. It bugged her so much. Movement and exercise were just too painful. She joined my gym and never went because it was too painful. Sleep was not restful. And so again, step one was the reset. And for Bonnie, she has done the reset every month for almost 2 years. She's down 40 pounds. She's a different person. She is loving life again. She spends her retirement having fun. She spent 6 months of the year in Mexico. She's digestion is normal. Sleep is wonderful. Energy is awesome. Exercise is a joy. She messaged me the other day about being able to go to yoga and do a one-arm side plank that just would not have been possible. And the fact that her belly doesn't get in her way anymore, which I think is pretty spectacular, right? You reach your mid-70s, I think you want to enjoy retirement, not sit around and grope and complain about being sore and you can't even eat. That would suck, right? Now, when most people do a nutrition plan, what happens? Well, you start the diet, which involves restriction or starvation or deprivation. That leads to cravings. And then you give in, and then you eat all the things you're not supposed to, and you feel guilty, and you feel really bad. So then you start a new diet, and you do a bunch of restrictions, and you deprive yourself, and you cave in. Does anybody notice that sounds familiar?
Oh, yeah.
Been there, done that? Yeah. Well, you know what? It's not about eating less, it's about eating better. Because here's the thing, all foods are not equal. This is out of the page of my book. If your body were a car, you wouldn't treat it this way. There's a 460 calorie meal. It is a chicken breast, some sweet potato with some butter and some vegetables. That is an awesome meal. Do you know the number one complaint I get all the time when I put people on a healthy meal plan? Coach, I can't eat all this. What are you doing? This is too much food. I can't eat all this. And yet that same person would go to Mickey D's and get a Big Mac. And that's not going to fill you up. One hamburger. Whoever orders us a naked hamburger. Come on. There we're talking. 1,660 calories in one meal. Woohoo! You don't even have to eat for the rest of the day, but I'll tell you what, you'll probably be hungry in an hour. And how about Timbits? Ooh, 7 Timbits, 590 calories. Has anybody ever gone for a drive with a 10-pack and you scrabbled around in the box? Oh, I guess it's empty. And you ate all of them? This is 900 calories. And I'm still hungry. Right? So it's not about, you need to understand how to feed yourself well. And another great example, Brandy was the life of the party. Oh, I didn't do the thing in the slide where it does it in order. That's okay. She suffered a huge family loss and she was really hurting. She had really bad asthma. And when drinking, she could hardly breathe, but she just kept going. Life of the party. Anxiety and depression ruled her world. She was addicted to Pepsi and fast food. She had trouble sleeping, but she had the best poop stories. Like, this is all right. Now, and she might be here tonight. Step one, Randy did the reset. And then she worked on accelerating her plan. And she's down over 50 pounds now. What was amazing too is I had asked Brandy, because I've been working with her for a while. And I said, hey, do you have any pictures of you before we started working together? She goes, oh, I think I could find one. And her comment to me was, oh my God, I had no idea it was so vast and so different. Everybody keeps telling me I look different, but I really didn't think it was a big deal. I didn't think it was that much until I saw the pictures. Like, holy cow, right? She now has tons of real energy. Those are her words. Her skin is cleared up. Her anxiety and depression are no longer a ruling force. Her junk food cravings are gone. Her sleep is awesome. Alcohol is not required to be fun. She's still the life of the party. She just happens to be sober. And she's a role model for her children. And she still has funny poop stories. Right? For her 40th birthday, do you know what she wanted? She wanted to come work out with me. So her and her friend Deb, who's also a client of mine, came and we did a really horrible workout for her birthday. And she loved it. And she had an SBI, a should be illegal 21-day reset muffin, and they loved them. No junk required. That's pretty awesome. All right, we're getting there, folks. We're almost through. One of the things that's fascinated about this whole world, and just check in. How are you guys doing out there? Are we good?
Good.
You guys are good?
Mm.
You guys have been a great audience. I really appreciate this. Human beings function on basically 2 principles, but you could argue 3. So avoid pain and seek pleasure are the 2 main ones. And you could also say that conserve energy is another way the human body looks at the world. So the big challenge with our primary operating parameter of avoid pain, seek pleasure, and conserve energy is that the couch and Netflix is looking pretty friggin' good, isn't it? Right? Because it's pleasure. I'm just kicking it, watching a great movie, and I'm conserving energy. In fact, I'm not burning any, and I'm taking in excess, and it's not painful. Now, I mean, it'll be painful if I do it too long when I'm 70 and I weigh 400 and I can't move. Okay, that's painful, but that's later. That's later, right? That's the challenge. So then I say, okay, you come to me and you say, Scott, I want to feel better because I do have pain. My joints hurt and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, you need to start exercising. Well, exercising's painful. That's uncomfortable, right? Sitting on the couch is great. So we have to outthink our primary operating parameter, and exercise takes energy. Now, the thing is, as you get more fit, more strong, your body will become better at utilizing energy. Like I can run a half marathon. I run one pretty much every week, and I can do that easily at 130 beats a minute without putting out a lot of energy because my body's used to that. So your body will re-regulate, and we have to trust that it's hard now, but eventually it's better because your body will adjust and get good at it. Like Sarita runs 160 kilometers. I can't even imagine that. Well, I can, but that's crazy, but she's used to it. Her comment after being second overall was, it honestly felt like no big deal. It just felt like I trained a lot. It's a big, long training day. It's amazing. So these are the challenges. I mean, if you look at somebody that's, say, for example, you're trying to, we'll use quit smoking as a challenge. Well, that's immediately painful, and having a cigarette is immediate pleasure. That's a tough one to quit, isn't it? Really tough, right? Lots of people have done it. Quitting coffee is immediately painful, and having a coffee is pleasurable. But we need to flip the script. We need to realize that down the road, being healthy and fit is more pleasurable, right? And we have to understand the consequences long term, and that's tough when we're in a mood. I got a great message from Brandy. She's like, she would have loved to comment, but she's got bad Wi-Fi out in where they live, and she said this program saved my life with a heart. So that's nice. I thought I'd share that. So that's the challenge. We need to understand that exercising and eating well is pleasure because it's a gift. It's going to give more than it takes. But understand that you're going to fight yourself. Does that make sense? Is that helpful to know? Right? Because we're going against the grain to some degree. Now, and I've been there. I'll tell you, sugar's my weakness. And here I am. There's me trying to get fit, and there's cake. Right? Anyone? It's true. All right. Life is ultimately simple. Are you happy? Yes. All right, keep going. All right, not? Okay, change something. That's the deal. Okay. So those are the main pieces I wanted to cover. And what I want to do now is I want to, in case you're interested in maybe working with me, I want to talk a little bit about what I do, if that's cool. So if you don't want to work with me and you got everything you need, you could go. But if you're curious, you'd like to know maybe a little bit more, I'm going to talk about that. Is that fair enough? Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
We're also about 5 more minutes and we're out of here, kind of thing. So I am really excited to create something coming up now, and it's called the Rat Pack. So Rat Pack stands for Reset, Accelerate, and Thrive. Now, who remembers the Rat Pack from Hollywood in the 50s and 60s, right? Sammy Davis Jr. and okay, good. Not just me. That's cool. So that's what I'm basing it on. And it really starts, as I've said, with resetting your metabolism and your hormones. Phase 1 is the reset. 21-day program. It's only 21 days. It resets your metabolism. It's going to detoxify your body. It's going to improve your energy, improve your sleep, improve your mood, reduce brain fog. And the average is people drop 7 to 15 pounds in 21 days. That's most people. Some people are more, some people obviously less. Everybody's different, but that's the average. And then the next thing is the 6-week Accelerate challenge. That's phase 2. We're going to build on what you've learned in the 21 day, because there's daily mindset videos and everything. And you can't do the 6 week until you've done the 21 because you won't be ready, right? It takes advantage of your revved up metabolism. It ensures you get enough of the right foods. It improves mental clarity and focus. It layers on exercise. We increase your effective muscle mass. It's going to increase your stamina. It's going to be implementing new recipes and some eating patterns. Most people drop 5 to 20 pounds. Okay, that's that program. Now, I already see I didn't get that slide piece in the right order, but that's okay. So the 21-day reset, it includes a delicious, super simple meal plan with a 90-page manual. There's no calorie counting. There's daily mindset videos to impart knowledge and help you. There's a private Facebook group. There's unlimited message contact with me. If you're at the grocery store and you don't know what to pick, send me a photo of the box or the label or the jar. I will read the ingredients and I'll say yes, no, or get this instead, right? I'm your coach, okay? And the 6-week program is custom meal plan specific to you. We work with an exacting one for you. It's new, delicious recipes. It's a brand new manual. It's 2 specific workouts a week plus cardio. There's daily mindset videos again. There's 42 of them. There's a private Facebook. There's unlimited message contact with me again. There's 3 live group Zoom calls with questions and answers and content. Okay. And now the new program, and I do have to apologize. Can you guys see like there's a blue streak on the screen? Can you see that? Or is it just,
Yeah.
Yeah.
something in PowerPoint is set up that I draw on it when I scroll my mouse, and I don't mean to do it on purpose, but anyway, I apologize for that, but it is bugging me. So the monthly Thrive program that I'm super excited that I've just came up with, it includes the 21-day and the 6-week program every time I run them. So you can take them as many times as you want. Okay, that's included. It also has a new private Facebook group. It's got weekly Zoom content with questions and answers and coaching calls, right? And we're going to alternate those between middle of the day and evening so people can always get to them depending on their schedules. There's mindset videos, there's workout of the week, there's unlimited coaching support again. And then there's going to be a discount for the annual retreat that I'm super stoked about getting together. We're either going to be going to Penticton or Mexico. Depends on how many people are willing to play. Okay, so that's pretty exciting. So the 21-day nutrition reset is $247. The 6-week accelerate, the phase 2 second program is $497. But here's what I'm doing. The monthly Thrive program is going to be $497 a month, and it's a 4-month commitment. But I'm building it together right now for the founding members at just $197 a month. So it's 4 months at $197. It includes the 21-day and the 6-week and everything in the monthly. So that's what I'm up to right now. So I want you to take care of your body. It's the only place you have to live in. You can't, I could give you that McLaren and you could wreck it and you could just park it in the ditch and go get another car. But you can't do that with your body. This is the one you get. So that is what I had to provide. And now it is open mic, open questions. And folks, we are like crisply at 8 o'clock. Hallelujah. I'm feeling pretty good. How are you doing?
Good.
Awesome. You rock.
Thanks. I appreciate that. I love what I get to do. I sincerely love what I get to do. Like
Mhm.
changing lives, like, oh my God, like Rob and Sarita and Brandy and Steve and Bonnie. It just fills my soul that I get to help people. I just love it. And Carmen, like there's other people on the line that I've helped. And Diane, I love that I get to do that. So thank you for tuning in and listening. Do you have any questions for me tonight? Wide open.
When does the next 21 day start?
March 6th. Oh, that's a good question too. The Thrive program starts on March 1st and the next 21-day reset starts on March 6th. And I do have a page. If you do decide you want to do the Thrive game, you can also just message me, but it's scottyfit.com/Thrive.
Hi, Scott. I got a question for you. If
Yeah.
I'm traveling in April, can we hit up the 6-week challenge at some other time?
Yeah, you know, I'm in the middle of a 6-week challenge right now. We are in week 3, and the next 6-week challenge starts, I believe, early May.
Perfect.
Early May or, yeah, I'll check, but it's kind of like every couple of months, another 6 week starts.
Okay, perfect.
That's
you.
definitely a game we can play. Cool. Nice to see you, Mark and Nick. I didn't know you were visiting out there, Nicholas. That's awesome. Any other questions for me? I really appreciate you guys willing to play tonight. That was a lot of fun. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the recording part because we don't need that part now.